Hi everybody, in this video we are going to learn something about the movement of the continents and plates, the so-called plate tectonics. The lithosphere, the rigid outer shell of the Earth, has been broken into about 1,000 plates, which, drifting over the less rigid ductile asthenosphere, pass one another, collide with one another or separate from one another. Where they separate, new plates are formed, which are destroyed again when they collide. It's an endless process of creation and destruction. Plate tectonics are also the explanation for the large-scale phenomena like volcanoes, earthquakes, mountains, and the structure of the seafloor. Before we had the continents, there was one big continent, which broke apart in our today known 7 continents. It's called Pangaea, which means in ancient Greek whole earth. But how did the continents break into pieces we know today? The answer is convection streams. Imagine we boil water in a pot. Because of convection, hot water rises from the bottom to the surface, cools down, moves sideways and sinks back down, heats up again and rises. Exact the same thing happens in our Earth. Hot material of the mantle rises and leads to the formation and separation of plates. Where the plates converge, the cooled plate is pulled under the second plate and dives in the mantle. There the plate melts and the melted material rises again. It's an endless circle. There are 3 different kinds of plate boundaries. The first one is called the divergent plate boundary. Divergent plate boundaries exist between 2 tectonic plates that are moving away from each other. Now we separate in 2 kinds of divergent boundaries. There's the boundary on ocean floor and the boundary on continents. In the first one, lithospheric plates drift apart and new oceanic lithosphere is produced. The word for this is called seafloor spreading. An example is the so-called Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This is an undersea mountain chain with volcanoes and earthquakes. The second one exists within continents and produces rifts, which eventually become rift valleys. For example, the Rift Valley in southwest of Iceland. It's part of the boundary between the Eurasian and the North American plates. The second plate boundary is called convergent boundary, whereof 3 types exist. Convergent between 2 oceanic plates, convergent between an oceanic and a continental plate, and convergent between 2 continental plates. When 2 oceanic plates collide, it creates an oceanic trench and a volcanic island arc. The best example is the Mariana Trench. When a continental and oceanic plate collide, the thinner and denser oceanic plate is overridden by the thicker and less dense continental plate. The oceanic plate is forced down into the mantle in a process known as subduction. And last but not least, when 2 continental plates collide, it creates a mountain chain. An example for this is the Himalaya. The third kind is called transform fault or transform boundary. It is also known as a conservative plate boundary, since these faults neither create nor destroy a lithosphere. The 2 tectonic plates slide past one another. One of the most famous transform faults is the San Andreas Fault in California. The transform fault also causes earthquakes. That was a lot of information. Let's summarize this real quick. Before everything started, there was Pangaea. The convection stream caused that Pangaea broke and the continents moved apart. Because they are still moving, there are 3 types of plate boundaries. The divergent plate boundary, where plates separate, the convergent plate boundary, where plates collide, and the transform boundary, where plates slide past one another. I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye.